Wendlebury outside here. The ball going forward. It's going to be Pendlebury on this outside. Pendlebury who strikes, and what a goal that is, Wycombe Wanderers fans. You must be happy with that. A really, really good long-range strike, and Cheltenham are going to be gutted. They had chances in this game, and then again, Fleetwood try and defend it, but Scully sends the ball forward, and again, it's a really, really good. That is a horrific tackle, isn't it? Oh, flipping heck, Fleetwood defender. What are you doing there? A player with that speed, with that agility in the penalty area. You don't go to the ground in the area normally, but the minute Bannon came forward outside the penalty area, a fantastic strike from the number 10, and finally the breakthrough for Sheffield Wednesday happened. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast, and welcome to a brand new series called League One All the Action. We're going to be reacting to some of League One's biggest moments, especially and specifically today on match week 2. We're going to be having the goals in front of me. I can't show you the goals for copyright reasons, but I've got the goals in front of me. I've got all the biggest moments across yesterday right in front of me, and I'm going to be reacting, discussing and analysing those moments for you. Some amazing games yesterday. Not one 0-0 draw. We had 3-all thrillers. We had some huge games, and I can't wait to get stuck into it, really. Please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the podcast. It's going to be something that hopefully I'm going to be able to bring you regularly as the season goes on. Some huge moments. His campaign is already proving to be an absolutely fantastic one. We knew it was going to be fantastic. We knew it was going to be entertaining. We knew it was going to be tough. It was going to throw shocks and surprises. A real roller coaster of a campaign. It feels like it gets more difficult every single year, and it really is already proving to be that as well. Some shock results, some shock moments, all discussed again by me today. Please remember, like I said, you leave a like and subscribe. You can probably tell by the husk in my voice, I was at that Oxford United versus Charlton game yesterday, where Oxford United came away with the 2-1 victory. And again, I do apologise for that. Hopefully, I can't make any promises once again that the voice won't be like this every time I do this on a Sunday morning. But I'm still really feeling that Sunday football feeling. The fever of football is well and truly back. Football is back is the saying that's being thrown around the football fan base. And it's just quite right, isn't it? The fans are back. The atmosphere's back. Everything about the beautiful game that we love and what we've missed is finally back into play. And I cannot wait for this season to continue throwing up the adventures and excitement of this season. So let's start then with Accrington against Cambridge. Accrington played against, in the first game of the season, Wycombe Wanderers away from home, a team that had been relegated from the Championship last season. A difficult game. They lost that 2-1. Cambridge hosted Oxford in the opening game as well, and they drew the game 1-1. This is going to be a really, really interesting game, and I have watched the goals back here, and you can see straight away the physicality of Accrington Stanley. They had the first big chance of the game, where the big lad, and I say big lad, there's multiple big players in that midfield across that side, hits the crossbar straight away. But as I was saying about the physicality and the real organisation of this Accrington side, it's really, really clear to see. I mean, Cambridge have a chance, the second chance of the game, the first big chance for them, to cross into the box. A low cross, you can see they're probably going with some low crosses because they know if they put that in the air, it's going to get dominated by the heads and by the physicality and the great aerial ability that Accrington have. They've got some big defenders, but the first goal is a fantastic one, isn't it? It's a cross into the box. Again, you can see a lot of crosses. Both the first few chances came through the cross, and the first goal came from an Accrington cross, a great ball in, and Butcher, after 14 minutes, takes the lead for them. And then the second goal again comes from this left-hand side in the first half on the 30th minute. A beautiful ball into the box, straight on the head of Pell. And there are probably going to be some question marks as to who was really marking Pell in the area. I know he's not an easy man to mark. He's a very, very tall lad, well over 6 foot. And then Cambridge come going in the second half. 10 minutes to go here. If they get a goal now, you think there maybe could be a chance for them to get back into the game. Ironside, just inside the penalty area, takes a strike, and the goalkeeper is an absolute mare. The Accrington goalkeeper, straight through the legs of him. He's not going to be happy with that. You can see he's very, very obviously not happy with that. But Cambridge couldn't find another goal, couldn't get back and at least get a point from the game. And fair play to Accrington Stanley. They did the job. They played to their strengths. They played with the height and they dominated Cambridge, really. And that's where Cambridge are going to have a bit of a lesson. You can quite see that Cambridge are going to have to learn that in this league, League 2's physical, but this is a next level of physicality. And you can see, especially against Accrington, you're not going to come against those sort of height players every week, and that's something definitely to mention. But they are going to be a real side to watch out for, Accrington. They were last season. Again this season, they offer that real sense of aggression, but the right side of football aggression. That's why you've really got to be careful against Accrington. They're going to be a battle to play against this season, and Cambridge on the second game of the season really learned that lesson. But 2-1, it doesn't sound as bad for Cambridge, and on another day they may have had another chance and maybe could have got at least a point from the game. But in the end, it finishes Cambridge, Accrington 2 and Cambridge 1. So the second game we're going to be talking about then is AFC Wimbledon against Bolton, and what a thriller this game proved to be. The second 3-3 draw for Bolton. Only 2 games into the season, they clearly are shipping a lot of goals, and that's going to be a worry for Bolton. 2 games into the season, they have done some good business. They have, and they do look like a team going forward that are going to cause some real danger. But defensively, already a draw against MK Dons 3-3, and now a draw 3-3 against AFC Wimbledon yesterday in a game that they were 3-1 up in, is going to be probably a bit of a worry for Bolton. And for AFC Wimbledon, who in the first game of the season won at Doncaster 2-1. It's not a bad result to them, and the first goal came from AFC Wimbledon across into the box. It gets cleared away quite well onto the edge of the area, and then a massive ball into the box. A great ball in. Again, the big number 5. I can tell you exactly who scored that. The first goal of the game, Nightingale. A fantastic header from him, and they open the scoring. And then Bolton come forward, an absolute calamity of goalkeeper. And again, so far we've seen some pretty horrific goalkeeper in the first 2 games. He wipes him out, and then Doyle from the penalty spot. We know he's going to score goals this season. He slots it away. Good penalty, and we're back on level terms. And then here come Bolton again. They want to get back into this game, try to take the lead. And Doyle is on that right hand side, lovely ball into the box, and it, of course, this time is Sheehan after 27 minutes who tucks that goal away. And at 2-1 up, you're thinking if Bolton get the next goal, this game could be set and over. This game could be done, and they do get the third goal. A really nice ball out from the right hand side. Another great cross into the box, and then the leg and the final. You just gave everything to get to the edge of that ball. It was in the end Afalon. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I do apologise. After 48 minutes, makes it 3-1, and then you suddenly start thinking there's something in this game. There really is. But AFC Wimbledon, Presley, they get a penalty. He scores the penalty. And at 3-2, this game only is getting better. At 3-1, when they scored that third goal, you maybe think there could be, that's game over. And then the penalty happened. You think, we've now got Bolton fans probably thinking it's going to be quite a long 15 minutes. But some dodgy defending. AFC Wimbledon, Bermude, who I said to watch out for, comes forward. Great dribbling, great effort, great goal. And AFC Wimbledon, in the 75th minute, just 1 minute after the penalty, makes it 3-3. I said, watch out for Bermude. Watch out for that lad. And he's done it and scored a late equaliser against Bolton Wanderers. They need to sort the defence out. Going forward, they look very good. But for AFC Wimbledon and for Bolton, it proved a fantastic game of football. But at 3-3, you maybe start to think Bolton should have won the game, really. But AFC Wimbledon, fair play to them. They took the chances, did a very good job, and they came away with the 3-3 draw and a point apiece for those 2 sides. So, Burton Albion against Ipswich, then the third game we're going to be talking about today. And again, Burton beating Shrewsbury by 1-0 in the opening day. Ipswich drawing to Morecambe. You didn't expect that, did you? I certainly didn't in the opening day as well. And this was going to make a really interesting game. Burton look very good. And they start the game great. A great piece of play on this left-hand side. Powell in the penalty area. Slots the ball away after 19 minutes. And the game is really going to get interesting now. Burton with the first goal at home. Ipswich need to find a response. And just 3 minutes later, a cross into the penalty area from a dead ball free kick. O'Connor with that own goal. He's asking for some sort of foul. He's asking for something. He's asking for a shirt pull. It's not going to be given. A bit of argy-bargy in the penalty area. Piggott wants the game to be started quickly at Ipswich. Is not going to happen at the moment because he's keeping hold of the ball very well. Not on the ball in terms of football in terms. He's just holding the ball at the moment. You can probably see the mentality slightly there from Burton. But Ipswich in the penalty area. Number number 15 for Burton, Ipswich in the penalty area, and he's being way too physical there, that Burton man, and he's always going to get a penalty for that. When you get hold of the player in the penalty area like that, you're always going to be risking giving away a penalty, and the penalty is saved. A fantastic save from the Burton Albion goalkeeper, and Ipswich's season just doesn't get better, does it? It just doesn't get much better there. They all go over and congratulate the Burton goalkeeper with a fantastic save, a crucial save in this game. Again, a really, really good effort from Ipswich, and they're really knocking on the door. They're desperate to try and get something from this game, desperate trying to get a win from this game as well. They want a win, but here come Burton, the 86th minute, number 15, who gave away the penalty, and the number 8, Powell, gets brought down in the penalty area. The referee, with no doubt, points to the spot, and the number 10 for Burton Albion, of course, it's Atkins. 86 minutes on the clock, a fantastic penalty, cool as you like, and Burton Albion beat Ipswich Town, and they do not look like they're having a very, very good start to the campaign. You can't say though that Ipswich they didn't play badly. I wouldn't say they had some good chances. They dominated possession. They had the same amount of shots. They did have more on target. They had more corners, but ultimately it's goals that matter. And Burton, they took their chances, and Ipswich had a big chance on the penalty spot that they didn't take, and Burton had a chance on the penalty spot, which they did, and it finishes 2-1 against Ipswich. Burton 2, Ipswich Town 1. So in the third game then, Cheltenham against Wycombe Wanderers. Going to be an interesting game. Again, newly promoted Cheltenham plays newly relegated Wycombe Wanderers. Wycombe beat Accrington on the opening day. Cheltenham got a draw away from home on the road against Crewe Alexandra on that first opening fixture. So this was going to be a really, really interesting counter. You probably would expect Wycombe to win. They were the bookies' favourites for this game. But it was interesting to see how the game would pan out. So the first chance then, again, from the corner, it is of course a Wycombe corner. And again, we know about the threat from corners, the big lads they've got at Wycombe, and it was Vokes that opened the scoring to make it 1-0 to Wycombe against Cheltenham in this one. Then a really, really interesting long ball forward straight away, big effort. There's a darting run in the area. He decides not to use him. He goes to the strike, and it's a really, really good save in the end. He really wanted that pass. You can see by his reaction, and then that chance really could be interesting because Cheltenham now come forward, a ball into the area, just about really good physicality from that number 16 across into the box, and then a fantastic header into the back of the net. Williams on the stroke of half time makes it 1-1, and that is a really, really interesting goal at half time, the perfect time to score. And then Wycombe lose the ball, a long ball forward. Cheltenham have a chance, and Alfie May misses a really, really big chance in that game. Wendlebury outside here, the ball going forward. It's going to be Pendlebury on this outside. Pendlebury who strikes, and what a goal that is. Wycombe Wanderers fans, you must be happy with that. A really, really good long range strike, and Cheltenham are going to be gutted. They had chances in this game. They didn't take them. Pendlebury back in the penalty area. It was actually a really, really good effort from Pendlebury again on the outside of the area, and it's another goal from long range. That man is scoring goals from long range like it's nobody's business, and that is a massive, massive win for Wycombe. They make it 2 wins out of 2. It finished Cheltenham 1, Wycombe 3. Some great goals from Pendlebury. Wycombe, they tried their best. We look at the possession stats in this game. Actually, it was Cheltenham that dominated. Cheltenham had more shots. They had the same amount of shots on target as well. So they weren't shy from having a few goes at goal. They weren't shy of the ball either. But Wycombe, like we just mentioned there, long-range goals as such like that, you can't do anything about it. Maybe you could close them down, but the actual strike itself, you can't do anything about it. A fantastic win for Wycombe. Some great goals with it as well. And this really is all the action from League One. So next up then we had Lincoln City against Fleetwood, and Lincoln away from home in the opening day drew to Gillingham, and as for Fleetwood, they lost at home 1-0 to Portsmouth. So both teams coming away with, neither of them coming away with wins on the opening day are going to really want to try and get a win here. And we know Lincoln under Michael Appleton, they played some great stuff. They made some really good additions in the summer. They got to the playoff final last season, and they went against Fleetwood today. At home, really really, really interesting game. So let's have a look at the goals then. The first chance comes forward here. Really, really good play from Fleetwood. They get a chance and it just flashes across the goal post. Really, really interesting effort from Fleetwood. They started the game strong. But then Lincoln City, they settled into the game. They were playing some good football. And then another really, really loose pass sees Fleetwood come forward once again. Good defending in the end, but not good enough defending. And then it had to force a really good save from the Lincoln City goalkeeper. Like I said, they settled okay, but Fleetwood in the first half were really, really playing some good stuff. And then an absolutely wonder free kick from Andrew for Fleetwood. And you can't say it wasn't deserved. Lincoln had moments in that first half, but generally Fleetwood had the more of the ball. And they had really some really, really good chances. It could have been 2 or 3 going into half time. And really, really good for Fleetwood. They managed to get a goal. Beautiful free kick from Andrew. But Lincoln City in that first half, Scully with a fantastic goal from him into that top corner. First time, fantastic goal. It's 1-1. Lincoln City straight back into this game. And then again, Fleetwood try and defend it, but Scully sends the ball forward. And again, it's a really, really good... that is a horrific tackle, isn't it? Oh, flipping heck, Fleetwood defender. What are you doing there? A player with that speed, with that agility in the penalty area, you don't wipe, you don't go to the ground in the area normally, but the player of that skill, of that quality, you cannot go with a sliding tackle like that, and Scully makes them pay from the penalty area. That is some silly defending from Fleetwood. I'm not quite sure what they were doing there, but Fleetwood, they had a great first half, but in the second half, they really couldn't get hold of the game, and Lincoln City came out pumped and ready. They were desperate to come away with the points. They got the points. It finishes Lincoln City 2, Fleetwood 1. So next up then we had MK Dons against Sunderland. Sunderland in the opening day, of course, they beat Wigan. A really, really interesting game there. They beat them by 2-1. And as for MK Dons, they were part, of course, of that Bolton thriller. 3-3 on the opening day. So both teams didn't lose their first game of the season. And with Sunderland, who are favourites to win the league, travelled to MK Dons to really, for them, I guess, hope that they would get the win. They were favourites going into this game. So for Sunderland, they had the first chance of the game. It was a corner to them. And again, we know what MK Dons and Sunderland are going to offer. Sunderland are going to try and go at MK Dons. You can see straight away, I'll take their possession stats straight away. We said MK Dons against Sunderland is going to be quite a fascinating game, and it really was. In the end, MK Dons dominated Sunderland when it came to possession, 60-40 possession. They had more shots on target, and we'll come to the result in a second. But it proves that Sunderland, they may be favourites to win the league, but MK Dons, the reason why this game was so interesting was because MK Dons took the game to Sunderland. That's something that really, really was interesting. They had a corner Sunderland straight away. There was a long-range strike, a really, really good save from the goalkeeper for another Sunderland corner. But again, you can see the possession may have been towards MK Dons, but Sunderland got the first goal of the game, and it came from Stewart. He scored after 42 minutes. MK Dons tried to come forward before that. They tried some strange goalkeeping. It's got to be said from the Sunderland keeper. But then McGeady on this left-hand side, we know the skill, we know the experience he's got. A great ball into the box. The goalkeeper again. There's been some silly goalkeeper errors so far in this campaign, specifically in this match week, and Stewart makes them pay, as I've already mentioned. And then it's Embleton. Again, it's some really dodgy defending. He stays on side. Embleton, composed finish in the end. The goal is going to be given. The goal will stand. We don't actually have the referees. We do now have the pleasure of a replay, but the referees don't. Let's see if that was onside. We're going to have a bit of a tactical discussion here. The ball was played here. Oh, I don't really know. That's a difficult one, isn't it? I'm trying to pause it at the exact moment that ball's being played. Is he onside there? I don't think he is. I think he's in an... well, actually, there is an MK Dons man that may be playing him onside. There's not too many complaints other than the goalkeeper, but either way, it is 2-0 to Sunderland after 52 minutes. And then the man I said to watch out for this season, if he starts getting some goals, he'll be a really, really interesting player. And Troy Parrott makes it 2-1. He gets a goal, and it makes it 2-1. MK Dons come forward again. They're desperate to try and get something out of this game. It's not to be, though, in the end. Number 7, trying some trickery into the area. No one can get a touch on that. If they could, that probably would have been a goal. But either way, the game finishes 2-1. Really, really, really interesting game. Like I said, MK Dons went at Sunderland, but again, they couldn't find anything and get anything from this game. And Sunderland get 2 wins out of 2 in the first 2 games of the 2021-2022 League One campaign. So next then, of course, is Morecambe against Shrewsbury Town, and Morecambe got a really, really good point against Ipswich on the opening day, and Shrewsbury, unfortunately for them, lost against Burton at home. So they came into this game against Morecambe, who have already had a really, really decent start to this season. It's going to be quite a difficult game. Travelling to that ground, what are they going to have to face when they play against a newly promoted, definitely exciting Morecambe team? I expect them to go down. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't, but they so far have proven me very, very wrong. They come forward here with the first goal and nicely ball forward, and then some really, really silly defending from that number 14 of Shrewsbury Town. Clumsy defending when you're facing towards the goal. You come from behind, you take your man down. It's always going to be a penalty, and Phillips steps up after 34 minutes. Beautiful penalty in that bottom left, and Morecambe led by 1-0. And you can see straight away those heads of Shrewsbury Town go straight down. They're really, really not looking like they're in a great place. And then a ball in from Morecambe from the corner, and then a really, really good, scrappy you could say, but you had to be there to score it. So I'd say a good, well-timed position to be to tuck away from what I said from a corner, and it's Stockton who was there at the right moment. Again, like I said, it was quite scrappy, quite sloppy, quite a difficult goal to really sort of look at from a highlight perspective. But you could clearly see that they wanted it more. He was desperate to get there. He wanted to get to the ball as quickly as possible, and he wanted to get there more than those Shrewsbury defenders, and that's why that goal went in, and that's why he got there first and got that ball in the back of the net, making it 2-0. And to be honest, Shrewsbury's season just gets more and more worrying for them. So yeah, for Shrewsbury, it's not ideal. For Morecambe, it's getting better and better. So the next game then, Oxford United against Charlton Athletic. If you want my full sort of thoughts on this game, I did a podcast episode live dedicated to the Oxford Charlton game. As a team that I support, you can see just there. There we go. Got a signed shirt by Oxford. You can clearly see that I am an Oxford United fan. So I have already given my thoughts there. So you can go and watch that back if you're interested in sort of a real in-depth analysis on the game straight after, while also talking to the fans in the live chat. But we will be looking at the goals. We will be looking at the moments, because there were some really, really interesting moments in this game, are really, really interesting. And to be honest, Charlton, again, started quite a sloppy game. It started quite a difficult game to really see who was going to come away, if anyone was going to come away with the win. It really had a draw, scrappy near a draw all over it from the start. But again, Washington had a really, really good start straight away. Missed a chance, really good save from goalkeeper of Oxford United, Jack Stevens. And then the second chance, a fantastic breakaway from Oxford United, Gavin White, with the speed, with the dribbling ability that he's got. He comes forward, he takes the shot, parried away from the goalkeeper, straight to the feet of the makeshift right back for today's game due to an injury to our second choice Anthony Ford. Ryan Williams, of course, joined from Portsmouth on a free transfer in the summer. He scored his first goal. Portsmouth fans saying that he didn't score too many goals for them when he's already scored for us. Wow, very, very good. And then the second goal of the game, a ball into the box, falls straight to the feet of Cameron Brannigan. And that man pelts it into the back of the net. His celebrations, that you know how much that means to him. You know what it means for him to hit the back of the net. And then Sam Winners, and I spoke about this yesterday. I spoke about the penalty yesterday briefly. I said it was quite a difficult one to see live, and again, when we watch the replay now, we can see it much better. For me now, it definitely is a penalty. You can't have your hands like that in the penalty. That is not a natural position, Sam Winnell. Either way, the referee at them in the moment got it spot on, I'd say. And I mean, I'm saying this now, we've won the game, but obviously at the time we didn't know we'd won it. But either way, even yesterday, I did say that, you know, I think we have to watch it back. I think in the moment the referee felt like he made that decision. He gave it. Washington scored from the spot. It made it very, very nerve-wracking. But this game could have been killed off, couldn't it? Sam Winnell had an unbelievable chance. Really good play from Gavin White to Sykes. Sykes straight across goal. Sam Winnell must score. It's harder to score, harder to miss than it is to score. He manages to miss it, and somehow Sam Winnell's blaming Sykes for the ball. You cannot be blaming Sykes for that ball. It's a perfect ball across goal. You've got to be tucking that away. Either way, he doesn't manage to score. It doesn't matter in the end though, because Oxford United come away with a win against Charlton 2-1. So next up then we've got Plymouth against Gillingham, and Plymouth lost 2-0 on the opening day to Rotherham United. Again, not an easy game to start off with on the opening day, is it? Against a team that of course has been relegated recently from the Championship. 2-0, quite comfortable defeat for them. And Gillingham drew against Lincoln City at home 1-1. So not a bad result you could say for them either. But both sides haven't got 3 points yet. Today they're going to be desperate to try and get those 3 points, try and get their first win on the table. And again, that goal from Plymouth, the winner from Plymouth, took a long time to come. In the end, both sides had some chance in the game. A real chance you can see here early on was for Plymouth, and then Gillingham had a good chance in the box. Really sort of toe poke effort, and then a volley, and then a really, really good block in the end. But ultimately, it took a long time for them to see a breakthrough. In fact, it took 88 minutes for there to be a breakthrough. Plymouth came forward, 88 minutes, dribbling into the box, and then Plymouth's stadium erupts. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. 2 minutes on the clock still to go, but Jeff Cott, again, he dribbled well into the box. Really, really good play from him. Quite a solo effort, you could say. Really, really good ability from him on the ball, and then a really, really cool, composed finish into that right. I was going to say bottom right, but a little bit harder than bottom right. He got some real power on that, you could say. Really sort of, if you like, finessed it, if you want to be careful. A side foot power shot into that right-hand corner of the goal. Really, really, really important goal for Plymouth. They did get the 3 points. They did beat Gillingham by 1-0. And then moving on to then the penultimate game of the League One, all the action. Sheffield's Doncaster Rovers. Of course, Doncaster in the opening day, they lost against AFC Wimbledon by 2-1. Sheffield Wednesday drew 0-0 against Charlton Athletic. And Sheffield Wednesday, you could say, they were the favourites this game, and you probably would say they are the favourites on paper. Straight away, Sheffield Wednesday, it's actually Doncaster come forward straight away with an effort, and a really, really, that goal would have been fantastic in the top right-hand corner. And honestly, straight away, look at these highlights. Doncaster started the game really, really well. They're putting balls into the box. They were causing trouble for Sheffield United straight away. But then, again, I think you could sort of see the tides being turned. And then you think that's going to happen. And then Sheffield Wednesday look like they're going to give away a penalty. They don't get given the penalty. It might have been a free kick just outside the box, but Doncaster came forward. And then it was in the second half of the game that the breakthrough happened. It took quite a while, you could say. Quick free kick from Sheffield Wednesday. No one's really looking at what's going to happen. There's Doncaster defence switched right off. And they got lucky with it again, didn't they? A great save from the Doncaster goalkeeper. And now Sheffield Wednesday. In the first half, Doncaster, it was all Doncaster, you could say. But Sheffield Wednesday in the second half were dominating. They were really, really starting to knock on the door. And then in the 72nd minute, Bannon came forward outside the penalty area. A fantastic strike from the number 10. And finally, the breakthrough for Sheffield Wednesday happened. Fantastic stuff for him. And a beautiful strike. But like I said, in that first half, Doncaster were dominating the game. They're having the better chances. And then Sheffield Wednesday looked like they could get a goal earlier in that second half. It wasn't to be. And then the breakthrough straight away happened in the 72nd minute. And then in the 75th minute, a cross into the box. And again, it makes it 2-0. Just 3 minutes after the first goal was in for Sheffield Wednesday. Doncaster had one more attempt to try and get back into the game. It wasn't to be. A bit of a scramble in the penalty area. Asked for handball. A penalty was given in the game. Big chance for Doncaster. Could they try and get a goal back? What an important goal this could be. Save from Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper. And then the rebound was missed as well. In the end, it finishes Sheffield Wednesday 2, Doncaster Rovers 0. So then finally we've got Wigan Athletic against Rotherham United. Wigan went to the Stadium of Light on the opening day, lost the game narrowly 2-1, and Rotherham, as we've recently mentioned, played against Plymouth and won the game 2-0. So this was going to be a really, really interesting game. Who was going to come out on top? Rotherham got relegated last season. They are definitely one of the favourites to try and get back into the Championship this season. Certainly going to be one of the better teams in the league. And then Wigan have really, really, really invested in the summer, brought some great players in. Maybe not invested in terms of big money transfer fees. They certainly bring some big names into the football club. Certainly like a team to watch out for this season. And again, this was going to be, like I mentioned, a really, really interesting game. And I'm not going to mention too many spoilers. Spoiler coming right now. Anyone that mentions that is going to spoil it as soon as they say that. It again was quite a difficult game to really try and see if you could find a winner. Again, Rotherham came forward in the first part of the game, starting to dominate with the first big chance of the game. A ball in to penalty area. The goalkeeper not really know what he was doing, and then a chance that really should have hit the back of the net. Arguably is an open goal. Is it really an open goal? It probably should be hitting the back of the net. You probably would expect it to. And then a ball into the box from Wigan, headed back across goal, and then another big chance missed. Again, a lovely ball into the box, headed back across goal. You would expect that to hit the back of the net, and then Wigan kept on knocking. After that first chance from Rotherham, Wigan kept on knocking on the door. A chance here, ball into the penalty area, well composed. I mean, the ref, what is going on there? I mean, the goalkeeper was saying, "I've got this," and then the defender lumped it upfield towards the Rotherham, and then Rotherham can start their own attack here. Rotherham coming forward, playing some really, really good stuff. Man's gone down, referee plays the advantage, goes outside this right hand side. Can Rotherham get a ball into the penalty area? They do. Penalty area onto the crossbar, from that cross into the penalty area. Really well, really good header hitting the crossbar. And then of course here is the goal in the 90th into injury time, the 90 plus 5th minute. Max Power's free kick goes in onto the head of Keane, and finally the breakthrough for Wigan Athletic. I mean, Rotherham, to be fair, they had their chances in the game. Wigan did dominate on possession by 61%, but like I said, Rotherham had their chances. 11 shots, 2 of them on target, actually the same as Rotherham, same as Wigan. But in the end, it was Wigan Athletic that came away with the win, and they won the game 1-0. Keane from a Max Power free kick into the penalty area. It finishes Wigan 1, Rotherham 0, and that is all the goals, biggest moments, interesting moments of the second week of League One. I really actually enjoyed this. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I sort of was going to do it, hoping I grew into it and started to really enjoy it. And I really did actually enjoy going through, looking at the moments, looking at the goals, reacting to them, trying to analyse them slightly, trying to get a better idea how the teams play. Obviously, if you've been to the game or you listen to the game, you're going to have a better idea of what happened when the goals and when the big chances didn't happen and weren't on my screen. I didn't actually watch didn't watch all 10 games, all 90 minutes of the full 10 game fixtures, but either way, I got quite a good idea from those goals and those chances. Some really, really interesting late goals, some real thrillers, 3-3s as already mentioned. Like I said, some really interesting tackles in the penalty area, some dodgy penalties. The goalkeepers had quite a bad week as well. Some goalkeeper blunders, but also some good saves as well. It had it all, didn't it, in League One, the second match week. That has been, and I've been Jack, it's been the Unfound Podcast, and this has been League One, all the action. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you want to see more of this, if you like to see it, I will do more of it. So make sure you leave a like and subscribe. You can do and show support in the comments down below. If you want to see more of it, just let me know in the comments. Say, I want to see more of it. Really do appreciate it. I believe 70% of you that watch the podcast are not yet subscribed. There's going to be content like this and more across the season, so you do not want to miss out. Make sure you do all of those things. Like I said, I've been Jack. This has been the Unfound Podcast. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all in a bit. See you later.